Hey everybody, welcome back to Mental Motors. Pretty interesting video coming for you today. I actually have a pretty cool and unique opportunity to film a great car for the beginning of, as you can see, the start to a new series that we'll be bringing to the channel called Why Cars. Basically the entire idea talking about why do people really get into cars and what do they really do for them, and why do we spend the money that we do and waste the time, passion, and effort into them and stuff, right? Because obviously they do a little bit more for our mental health and emotions than maybe the average non-car person, might see. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy. Pretty excited to say that the first car for the Why Cars series is a pretty unique car. It's a Viper, but it's not my Viper. It's kind of a Gen 5. It's mostly a Gen 3, but it's definitely pretty sweet. I'm going to let the owner explain a little bit more about the car, but I hope y'all enjoy, and thanks for tuning in once again. All right, so we got the owner of the car here, Josh, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about the build and everything going on underneath.
Yeah, so what I have is what I believe to be a one of two Gen 3 Viper with a full Gen 5 swap. Whenever I first found it, I imagined that it was really just a VIN swap Gen 5. Mm-hmm. I found it on eBay, had limited pictures, but then I was looking at the motor, the cross brace, the suspension, it was all Gen 3, and I was like, it's a hell of a lot of trouble for somebody to go through. Reached out to the owner. I was the only bidder on it, ended up getting it for quite a deal. Got it shipped down to me from Ohio, started going through it, and it just runs flawless. So underneath, it is a full Gen 3, completely stock except for Borla exhaust, and then the overall body has been completely replaced with original factory Gen 5. So everything from the front cowl, the bumper, the doors, even the door panels, the seats, the carpet, everything's been swapped out. Full carpet, everything. I mean, nut to bolt. It's just, in today's market with what these pieces cost, it blows your mind to think that somebody would go through the trouble and expense of doing this.
For real.
But you have to remember, around 2016, 2017, these cars weren't even moving off the dealer's lots.
That's true.
And so you could get wrecked ones for quite a good deal.
Wow.
So luckily, found somebody that put it together and haven't had any issues out of it. Runs like a top. Just couldn't be happier. I was about 33,000 miles on it. Get to put more miles on it without ever worrying about, motors blowing up or devaluing the car. It is a salvage title, but for the way that I use it, it doesn't really matter.
No, that's perfect, right? Yeah.
Just being able to put more and more miles on it and not having to worry at all about devaluing it, or you get a rock chip, or something like that. It's not the end of the world.
Really drive it and beat the snot out of it, worry-free, huh?
Absolutely.
And it's funny because I've actually seen Josh before we met each other. I've seen him driving around town because we live nearish each other, maybe once or twice. And I mean, honestly, even standing here, if the hood were not popped, you would think this is a Gen 5 until you actually get up and see either the steering wheel or obviously the Gen 3 motor. It's absolutely indistinguishable. It's crazy how good of a job they did.
Anybody that's not a pure Viper, aficionado is never going to be able to tell the difference between this and a Gen 5.
Right.
Literally, all the carbon fiber pieces are the same. It really is a true Gen 5 body, which I think flips most people out. I think most people think that underneath these cars are more sophisticated than they are. It's really just a square tube chassis, even on the Gen 5s, and so not as hard to do as what people make it out to be. It's just cost prohibitive now.
Right, right. So you had said there was a little bit of shortening that had to happen on this, or?
So generally a Gen 5 is going to be about 1.5 inches longer
than
what a Gen 3 is.
Okay.
And the seating position is a little bit weird. So you'll notice that if you look at the rear arches on this, it kind of fits up right in the center, where if you look at a real Gen 5, it's a little bit off.
Oh, okay.
Right now because the wheels turned a little bit, but there's a little bit of slack in the front and the way that it fits.
I got you.
Nothing rubs or anything like that. You know, a couple of little things just with the door fitment where it was coming in with the clamshell.
Right.
Just because that's where the majority of the work was done to get the shortening out of. And so just a couple little nicks and things there, but.
Well, hey, it's a car with story, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. Gosh.
Just the ones that pop up for a good deal, man.
Wow. And so where did you say you found this again?
On eBay.
No way. Yeah. Really? From the guy who did it, right?
$40,000. I'm the only bidder.
No way.
Yeah.
And then I remember the absolute shit show when you posted this for sale when we first connected. Gosh. Wow, that's so wild. When did you buy it again?
2018, 2019.
Wow.
Favorite thing about it is everybody's favorite thing about Gen 5, which is purely the looks. I mean, in order to replicate this look with the front engine, long nose, flowing sides like this, I mean, the only other thing that even comes close right now would be like a 712 super fast, and you're talking about 10 times the money for something like that.
Right.
The one thing I would change though is the transmission tunnel is super hot in the same way it is in all Vipers.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of heat on that right leg.
Oh,
yeah. Other than that, I mean, the thing truly is what a Viper is supposed to be. It's raw power, it's loud, it's manual. You know, you put too much throttle on it and the rear end's gonna kick out. But they're just amazing cars to drive.
So this is, it's drive-by-wire, just like drive-by cable, just like a Gen 3 is, and no traction control or no. Wow, that's cool.
A little bit too hard, and it's gonna take off.
Yeah, it's awesome though, because honestly, I had a Gen 3 back in the day, and what I love about that car is those analog pieces, the drive-by cable, the no traction control, no stability control, all that. To have that with the Gen 5 styling, I think that's like almost like the perfect combination, to be honest.
The other thing is the insurance on it is Gen 3 insurance.
Yeah, good point.
So, I mean,
it's the best of both worlds.
A third the rate of what theoretically should be.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. And these are all like Gen 5 headlights, Gen 5 hood.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is such a unique build, man. Thanks for taking the time to show us out and everything, or show it out to the channel and everything.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so like I said in the beginning of the video, this is actually the first of the Why Cars series, and basically the whole point of this is just talking to different owners of different builds and cars and things, and talking about, well, why do we really get into this passion, right? It's more than just a fun way to spend money and time, right? I think for a lot of people, cars are deeper than that, and can really help mentally, emotionally. I know, at least me personally, I formed great relationship with my father over cars, things like that. So let's ask Josh here, why cars?
I think that it's the community. Whenever you get together with like-minded people, most of us have a problem with finishing projects. We kind of like to get started and not finish, so we all have that in common. We can go out there and do great things. I'm part of like a Porsche group that just a couple weeks ago raised over $250,000 for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
That's awesome.
Up in Brasstown Bald. just go to the racetrack. You never meet anybody that's an asshole. They might be having a good day, a
Yeah.
bad day, but
Right.
they're all good people,
Right.
and they're really supportive if you just go up and ask nicely.
Mhm.
Some of the best friendships, some of the best bonds, and then sometimes just knowing people that are handy and can help out is probably the biggest thing. It's super addictive. It keeps you good. I think about whenever I was about 15 and I was starting to make bad life choices, and my mom would take me around and just test drive the cars that I never thought I'd be able to afford. So I remember around that time there was like the S4 from Audi coming out, and we went and test drove it, and I was so hooked. And I'm old enough where the original NSX was still in Acura dealers where you could go test drive it. And just getting hooked on that and saying, hey, I got to make the right decisions so that I can create enough value in other people's lives so that I can afford to have these kind of toys. You know, it's the kind of thing where it's not just about you and your toys, but you got to help other people. You got to meet other people through the community. And whether it be stock Honda Civic that somebody's taking to the drag race for their first time, or a Porsche GT3 RS that you're taking out on track with some track rats, everybody you meet has their heart in the right spot, and that's the biggest why for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And honestly, I couldn't agree with that realistically anymore. And as you can see, the Viper is not the only car in Josh's collection here, but just a little bit of a teaser on maybe some videos we'll be bringing to you guys later on. But thank you for tuning in, and I guess we'll bring it back to the studio.
That 2000 motor, like this thing's gonna be fucking badass. This whole thing will weigh less than 1,000 pounds, like running and driving. And you'll put like 270 NA.
Oh my goodness. Gosh, that's gonna be an absolute animal. I can't even remember the last time I've ever seen something like really this stripped down to the bone. It's so cool to see, like, building from the ground up. That's awesome. You said this was a Lotus 7. Lotus 7. Wow. Gosh, that's cool.
That's my next thing is trying to get into the big machinery. So like you can buy like these like CNC mills and like plasma table things. Then I got like this big hammer over here.
Okay.
I wanted for so long. Like this is what they use to make like body panels.
No
like
way.
flat sheet metal.
Wow.
So
You could do some really cool rat rod stuff with that too. Man, you got a really cool space here. This is awesome. This is really cool.
you got a sequential for the GTR whenever it gets.
No way. I wanted to put one in the Calvo build so badly.
Well, that's I got a 240 like that red one, but it's blue with a 2J and a 6XD in it.
No way.
Yeah.
That's got to be an animal. Wow. All right, baby, you ready to race this Viper?
I'm not racing anybody.